Did you just look at me? Did you? Look at me! Look at me! How dare you! Close your eyes!
Art 101 with Mr. Burgher.
Hello there, friends. Welcome to another episode of Art 101 with me, Mr. Burgher. I'm a professional artist and art teacher trying to bring you the best in art historical videos and content. Just a couple reminders. I love shares, likes, and brand new subscribers. And as always, remember that the content is geared towards those 13 years of age and older.
I should have known. You are the best.
Today's highlighted artist is relevant on a couple different levels. Number one, this is an artist who not only traveled between different states, but also traveled between different countries, an American citizen who would get their training in France. Also, this is International Women's Month, and so to highlight, we're going to focus on a international woman, none other than Mary Cassatt.
All right, you guys, come on, seriously.
First off, how difficult must it have been to be a woman living in the mid-1800s? What was your role in society? You find a husband, you cook, clean, have kids, you care for the needs of your household. Women that did not conform to that standard might become a complete social outcast. So today we're going to look at a woman that refused to conform and made her own way as an Impressionist artist. Obviously, Mary Cassatt.
So let me give you a little history lesson.
Mary Cassatt was born in Pennsylvania. Her father was a wealthy stockbroker, and her mother came from a family of wealth in banking. It is safe to say that Mary had a high society upbringing. Her family would move to Europe due to one of her younger brother's health conditions. And I tell you, that can't be easy for a kid to move a quarter of the way around the world because they got a sick sibling. I mean, that's just not easy. And that's a sacrifice, not just for the parents, but the whole family. Yeah, that's rough.
You better learn to fight, because life will... Yeah? Life is gonna unlife, and I'm gonna bite you in the ass.
They would live in France and Germany, and in 1855, after her sick brother had passed away, she would move back to Pennsylvania. In 1861, she enrolled in the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, where she would study for 4 years. She knew that to reach her fullest potential at that time in history, she needed to go to the center of the art world for training, and that was Paris, France.
You have a lot to learn about this town, sweetie.
Most art schools in Europe did not admit women, so she would need a studio to learn in. She would end up spending short periods of time in the studios of Charles Chaplin and Jean-Léon Ginomo. She would eventually develop her skills and create works that would allow her into the official French salon. She was first admitted in 1868. Her very earliest works were very influenced by the artworks by Edouard Manet and Japanese block prints. She would return to the United States in 1870 at the outbreak of the Franco-Prussian War. But soon she would return in late 1871, largely because the American galleries and studios wanted no part of a female painter. Hell no! After traveling all over Europe, she once again chose to settle in Paris. There she would live with an older sister until her sister's death. Obviously, this was a devastating event for Mary Cassatt. However, she would continue to work as an artist. She was very discouraged that American studios wanted nothing to do with her. However, she was encouraged by the fact that American tourists visiting Paris were very inclined to buy her works.
Fine, good decision. Good decision.
She would create portraits of these tourists, and that would only increase her popularity. During this climb of popularity, she would meet Edgar Degas. He would advise Cassatt to join with a group that was calling themselves the Independents. As time went on, the Independents would rename themselves to the Impressionists. She would end up showing her work with this group on 4 different occasions. Now you'll remember back maybe a few months ago, I looked at the Impressionists and we talked a little bit about Mary Cassatt. This time we're going to dig a little bit deeper, but also if you want a little bit more of a highlight, check that sucker out and you're going to get an overview of a lot of different artists. The partnership was really perfect for her because it allowed her to show her work without judgment and being rejected simply on the merit of her being a female. Degas would give her advice and help mold her into a new style of Impressionism. It was also at this time that Pierre-Auguste Renoir would have a huge impact on her work. So too did one of the masters of Impressionism, Camilla Pissarro. About Pissarro, she would say, "He is such a professor that he could have taught stones to draw correctly."
Because she's so talented, she's so smart.
During the 1890s, Cassatt would adapt to her more recognized period. It was at this time that she would focus on painting everyday lives of women, usually with their children, and probably the most popular of these was a work known as The Bath from 1893.
Oh, we're gonna have a baby. We just had a baby. And it's like, yeah, I know, but like, eventually it's just gonna be some dude named Doug.
On her last trips to the United States in 1898 and 1908, she would make several side trips to visit American collectors and art dealers. She would have an influence on the business unlike any other American artist had ever done before. She would persuade them to buy Impressionist artworks. These artworks were not very popular in Europe, but she knew that it would be a great investment and help the artists sell their works as well. She would also encourage wealthy wives to invest their money into these paintings, knowing that if their husbands had left them, they would be able to use the investment in the artworks and resell them as a security. And this is a major reason why the best and most important Impressionist artworks are found in American collections and museums today. What do I know, friends? I color for a living, but I know that that's how you influence the art markets.
Like this whole thing was all just part of some dumb shit master plan.
Mary Cassatt was never married and never had any children, but she had many friends and family members that lived around her and they enjoyed each other's company. At the start of World War I, Cassatt quit painting, largely due to health problems. Although we can look at the life of Mary Cassatt and admit that she had great successes and popularity as an artist, those were successes that she fought and sacrificed greatly to receive. She once had said, "Acceptance under someone else's terms is worse than rejection."
The only true strength comes from the heart.
Just a quick plug at you. There is Art 101 and Mr. Burgher artwork type merchandise available at redbubble.com. You can go on there, buy a cool shirt like this or like these, and we'll have the good people at redbubble.com ship that out to you at the earliest convenience.
I've been checking up on what these new dames have got going in the real world.
Now that is a great story. Hit the music.
You are such a nutcase. I can't even begin to keep up.